Welcome back to The Highway. My name is Neil Peterson. We're back with a new episode.
As always.
As always, happy to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I think we have a great guest today.
Really guest.
And he became even greater this weekend.
It's time for a guest. Jay El Capitano Itzes. Welcome in The Highway. We're so happy to have you. How are you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing good. Just finished training, so everything is good here in Italy.
Yeah, and I heard, directly can hear his accent. His English is perfect, Tom.
No worries about that.
No worries about that, no.
No.
So it's good to mention you already listened to the episode and watched the episode with Kelvin Verdonk. What was your opinion?
Yeah, it's nice to see him talking in front of the camera. He doesn't do it a lot.
No.
And no, I enjoyed listening and watching the podcast for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, what's
Wait. Are you already subscribed?
To
to the podcast?
Hey, to the podcast, Jay!
Subscribe on YouTube.
After this.
After this one, yeah. Subscribe and like, Jay. You know the drill. So what's your connection with Tom?
My connection with Tom, yeah, of course, we play together in Timnas. But yeah, me and Tom, we know each other already from playing in the Eredivisie, and he was playing at NAC also. I think he was also in the second league, right, Tom?
Yes, both. I think we played a lot of games against each other.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what kind of games were those for you?
I think in that time you were still playing on the midfield.
Yeah, true.
So
I was playing like a holding
I think
midfield.
we've had a lot of duels. So
Ooh. And who won the duels? Be honest, Tom.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
No, I think
too,
Jay,
to be
of course,
honest.
is a strong physical player, but also with the ball he is comfortable. I think on the midfield, I'm a guy a little bit more with the ball, playing forward, and Jay is just... So we're, of course, different type of players.
Yeah, Jay, you played 4 times against each other. Do you know how many times you won?
No, I saw already in the episode with Calvin that this would happen, but I forgot to check. You can tell me.
You didn't win any time. Tom won 2 times and 2 times a draw.
Only 4 games?
Yeah.
I thought it would be more.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
But which games? NAC, for sure.
NAC with Eagles against Heerenveen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because he scored 1 game against us.
He remembers it? You don't even know.
No,
No, you forgot.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes.
You make so many
No,
goals, eh?
we
All
were
the goals
playing
I
at home.
cannot...
You
I
don't
lost
remember?
count.
We were playing at home.
With the
You don't
Heerenveen.
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were playing at home. And
For the cup.
I think... Was it for the cup? I don't remember. But there was a ball coming from the left, and our goalkeeper went out a little bit, and it was a cut back to the 16, and everybody was in front of the goalkeeper, so he couldn't see. And then it was like 1 hard ball in the first post.
I think it was my first goal for Heerenveen.
So now you remember? Very good. Jay, it's now time to talk about the next subject, because your grandparents came from Indonesia to Holland, and now you want to give something back to Indonesia. So tell us, what do you remember from the stories your grandparents told about Indonesia?
My grandpa always used to talk way less man.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, thank you. But now he talked about it a lot also, and when he was born in 1939, um, Indonesia was also occupied by Japan at that time. So my grandfather also grew up in an orphanage, and I think he stayed around 10 years in an orphanage. So he told me some stories about that and how difficult it was for him to create something for himself. You know, he really came from nothing, and then eventually he created a life for him and my grandma in Indonesia. And then also my aunt was born there, and then they decided to come to Holland. So it was really amazing to hear what he did for us. And he always said like, yeah, I don't need anything else. Like especially now in the last year where I was earning also a little bit more than of course before, and I want to give back to them. Like if you want to do something, go somewhere, just let me know and stuff. But for them was like, no, this is good enough for us. You know, we can see our children and our grandchildren having a good and living in a good way. So yeah, for him and for them, their life was like complete almost. You know.
Do you remember his first reaction when you said, "Granddad, I'm going to play for the national team of Indonesia"?
Uh, yeah, I was really proud, of course, you know. And he was telling stories about, yeah, when I was younger, I also went to watch there, but yeah, I didn't have any money, so I just climbed over the wall and stuff, you know.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
they're a little bit more strict now.
A little bit more strict, you know.
Yeah.
From which part are they?
My grandma from Jakarta and my grandpa from Semarang.
I think it's
so nice, the stories.
Yeah.
To have them. Yeah.
I think my grandparents came also, your grandparents, you know, it's I think they're all similar, and I think what what Tom and I were discussing before is that we feel really proud that we have a connection with Indonesia. I think we discussed it over the last couple of weeks in the podcast, but I think explain also sometimes how why the connection is so special. But it really feels from inside that that you can say, okay, I'm half Indonesian. I don't know. It adds something to your life.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because, like what you're saying, like our grandparents, they came from there.
Yeah.
No, it's your family. You know, your roots are there. So, yeah, I think a lot of times in our life and everybody, we just think like, okay, we're here. Let's try to live my life the best to my ability. But yeah, you always from in my instance, I always think about like, how am I here? Who brought me here? You know, who brought me into this world was my family. You know, my mom and then my grandparents, and you can go even further down the history. But yeah, that's why I really have this feeling of like I have to make them proud. You know, and I have to give back to them and the country where they're from.
You have
I think it's a really nice message because it's also nowadays, like I said, there are a lot of distractions. But I think for a lot of people, it's also hard to stay grounded, and you can enjoy all the things that are coming to you in life and also the things you achieve. But I think, like Jay's telling, it's so important to look back as well and appreciate the people that gave you the opportunity to be where you are today. And I like what Jay is saying. I can really recognize myself in this feeling. I have so much respect for first for my parents, but also for their parents, and where they come from. And I think maybe that adds more to the feeling also, like we just spoke. So I think it's really nice how Jay talks about it.
Yeah, I think we discussed it before. Is that, of course, it's crazy playing for 80,000 people in JBK, in Jakarta, and everything. But I remember the first time you came back after you played for the national team. It's of course a play for the national team, especially with all the stories you were just explaining, Jay. The stories you heard from your granddad. I think that's like I cannot. I have no idea how that feels, and I have the same stories from my grandparents. So I think that's makes you very lucky that you have the opportunity to play. But I think it's also really cool. We heard it from Kelvin, we heard it from Tom. I'm hearing it now from you, Jay, that you guys really feel privileged that you are getting the opportunity to play.
Yeah, 1000%. Because it's not for everybody,
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of people like us, which of the family came to Holland or to another country, and you also have some other players who are Indonesian and who are football players, and they are not getting called up, or whatever the case.
Yeah.
So we are really privileged to be chosen out of the millions of people that there are, that we can represent the country. And I think that's also the mentality we have in the team also. Like you can see every game, everybody really wants to fight for each other and for your teammates, for the country, Tom knows I always say some stuff also before the game and everything. And I really believe that, I really believe in that. And I think that's the only way we can succeed also as a team. But yeah, for me, it's not even about being a football player. It's more about being a person, being a good person and giving back also to the country, which our grandparents came from.
That's the same, like what Calvin said.
Yeah.
Like be a good person and also to others.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is that because we asked Kelvin, because Kelvin didn't know how to post anything on Instagram, for example. He said, I think you have now 3 million followers. How's yours? Are you looking into that? Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, to be honest, like for example, Kelvin is a private person, like really private.
Yeah.
And normally, like before all of this, I was also quite private. I didn't really post anything, sometimes about football, but that's it. But I've realized now, okay, you can really utilize this in a good way. For like, of course, everybody sees that the players get, for example, sponsor deals and stuff like this, and you can earn some money and stuff, and that's all nice and whatever. But for me, it's about like